Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today, and Gearbox really surprised us this morning by dropping a Borderlands 3 teaser trailer called The Mask of Mayhem. Pretty much it's a psycho mask concepted of all the various characters that will be included in Borderlands 3. So pretty much what we're going to be doing is going through this entire thing, identifying everyone, and a lot of this information is going to be based off of previous leaks as well as reports about Borderlands 3 that are now being confirmed true based off what we're seeing in this trailer, which is even more hype mode, especially because there's no longer a maybe. We know tomorrow for sure is the day we get Borderlands 3. I hope you guys are excited, and I'm about to dig all the way into this trailer, so let's get started. However, before we get into the who's and what's of this Borderlands 3 trailer, I want to identify that on the top left corner, you'll see some Morse code that is represented through a blinking blue light. A fan translated it, and it turns out it means count the sirens. Now, Jack said that only 6 sirens can exist in the universe at one time, and when you count it up throughout this trailer, there's Troy, Tyreen, Lilith, Maya, Amara, and presumably Tannis, based off the Morse code from the Battleborn teaser a long while ago that stated Tannis is not what she seems to be. So this is really exciting stuff since the trailer only shows off 5 sirens. Furthermore, there is a shift code tucked away in this trailer that is the code C35TB WS6ST TX BRK TTT JT JJH6H, and you'll get 5 golden keys when you put it in, as well as a brand new Salvador skin that sort of looks like a poncho. It represents the PAX East colors, and I don't think there's a tease embedded in this, but it's still cool that Gearbox put something in this trailer like that. Now, let's get into the characters and what's going on here in the Mask of Mayhem trailer. Right away, the reported Calypso Twins are introduced to us. Now, that report comes through MrMattyPlays, who's built a lot of his reputation off of Borderlands 3 reports via his inside sources. These Calypso Twins are known as Tyreen and Troy. They will be your siren sapping antagonists. They're going to be torturing you the entire game. Specifically, Troy has the ability to buff other enemies. So think of the Loot Goliath from Borderlands 2. As he destroyed other enemies around him, he got more and more powerful. Think of an antagonist who can pop in, buff enemies to a new level, and have them do something different. That's what Troy does, but we don't have as much information on Tyreen. As you can tell, Tyreen has the upside down vault symbol above her head, signifying that these are indeed the children of the vault. What's also kind of cool is on the shoulder of Tyreen, we can see a little claptrap there, just a cool little detail. Followed up after that, we see a room full of psychos, one with a particularly long buzzsaw, all worshipping the Calypso Twins, so they're going to be following their orders. But more interesting is right on the outside of what we'll call the throne room, we see a handsome Jack mask tucked away. Easy as heck to scroll by if you're just watching the trailer at normal speed. But right when I saw this, I kind of bugged out because I wonder what this means for handsome Jack. Obviously, we know his fate thanks to Borderlands 2, and I just wonder what impact he can have on this game and how often he'll be brought up. But still, worth pointing out that handsome Jack is shown off in this trailer. Right afterwards, we see the Tinks, which are the brand new midget enemy types. Once again, this comes through another report from MrMattyPlays. Also, we can see, interestingly enough, is a part of the shift code I gave you guys at the beginning of the video, so you'll notice that throughout. Just know that's exactly what that is. But anyways, these Tinks are brand new enemy types, pretty much midgets with large heads, but it seems like they are still a part of the Calypso army, we'll say, and they're one of the psychos that we'll be battling off. As we continue rolling through the trailer, we see some guns, but now is the real exciting part because we encounter our first playable Vault Hunter that will be entering Borderlands 3. This one is Zane the Operative. Now, all this information comes via a character art leak for Borderlands 3 that a lot of people were like, it looks real, but some were saying, I don't know, I'll believe it once it's confirmed. Well, now we can cross-reference this leak with the trailer and confirm that these character reports are real. So this is in fact Zane, and he is known for using gadgets as his main ability. According to Know and other trusted leakers, Zane the Operative serves as an assassin class. He will be similar to Zero from Borderlands 2, as he will be able to throw out a decoy to draw aggro. Also, wealthy character as he has some classier character customizations. Furthermore, it's been confirmed based off these reports that these characters will have multiple action skills, not just one like in previous Borderlands titles. Next, we have Flack the Beastmaster, who you may recognize from the concept art I showed for Zane the Operative. Pretty much Flack Flack is the Hunter class, and here's what that same leak describes him as. The Hunter is a pet class Vault Hunter. This Beastmaster can choose between 3 different pets. Each pet will have their own abilities. This Vault Hunter is still in an alpha state as the AI of the pet isn't working properly. In the past, it was mentioned by Gearbox employee that AI is a difficult thing to get right, and the Beastmaster is a robot and looks like a quote homeless end quote person. So this character is the one I personally want to roll with. I love the idea of being a Beastmaster. This seems like a buffed up version of Mordecai if I'm going to be able to choose between 3 pets, and I can't wait to see what each of them do and speculate on what pets they are. But enough of that, let's move on over to Mose the Bot Jock. She has a picture all of her own for the character art leak, and in that very leak she is described as a soldier slash gunner class. This is what the leak says. The soldier is very tech and robot featured and is able to call in a Titan like the game Titanfall. She will have a co-op focused skill tree which will allow a co-op buddy to climb on the Titan and control its mounted turret in maybe a third-person mode. Also, the mech is called Iron Bear. I'm usually not one to go for the soldier class like a Roland, for example, but I gotta say, man, I really like the idea of being able to call on my own Titan and go ham on all these fools. Plus, a co-op focused skill tree could be really cool for a class to make more characters work together rather than all of you trying to use your own individual abilities and play more like a team. So I think that'd be really cool. We've seen more co-op focused skill trees before, but to see a character fully built around that could be awesome. Now you may be wondering, Matty, why did you skip over this lovely lady in the vehicle and go straight to Mose the Botjot? And it's because I wanted to make sure we confirmed who we could first before speculating on who this may be. Now we can safely assume this is Amara the Siren because when we look at Mose the Botjot's photo, we actually see AM on the bottom right corner of that, and that is the speculated slash reported information of who this siren that you're going to be able to play as is, considering every Borderlands game has a playable siren. Although we can't say for sure that it is her, I'd imagine it's a safe assumption. The leak describes Amara as the Siren, who is a female with a melee-focused build similar to that of Brick from Borderlands 1. She's going to have 3 action skills. One is a phase lock that can hold 3 enemies at once, another is a ground pound, and another is a self-projection that can fire at enemies, maybe something like the holograms that Jack the Doppelganger had in Borderlands, the pre-sequel. Also, she's described as possibly Indian, and we've heard that she's sort of designed to represent Kali, and she also is a buff character, so she'll be able to support those around you. The Siren is always incredible in Borderlands, and it seems like Amara is going to carry the torch just fine with having those 3 skills to use at her leisure. After that is one of the most epic images of them all. We see Mordecai, Brick, and a not so tiny Tina meeting up for one of the most badass high fives of all time. For me, out of everything I see here, I am most excited about Tiny Tina because there was so much speculation that Tiny Tina was not going to be older in this game. It wouldn't be that far into the future. The reports were that it was going to be 5 years after Borderlands 3, but it seems like based off her height, that is in fact true. So I can't wait to see what she offers for quests, how she brings her level of excitement and personality to the table. I'm just happy she's here, man. All right, that's all I care about. I'm so happy she's in this trailer. And Gearbox is like, yeah man, you're probably freaking out about all of these returning characters, here's some more. It starts off with a Psycho holding an interesting brand new weapon. If I want to go out on a limb and take a really blind guess, I'd say maybe it's an Iridian weapon, but that's me just wagering a completely blind guess out to you guys. I have no idea what that is. But then we get a look at Sir Hammerlock. Hopefully he's not taking his not so great DLC, in my opinion, with him, but it's good to see him back. Afterwards, we see Vaughn from Tales from the Borderlands. He is an interesting character in this game. Once again, from that same report I cited at the beginning of this video from MrMattyPlays, Vaughn is now a leader of a cult called the Cult of the Sun, and this pretty much fits the image, right? The man's walking around in his underwear, for God's sakes. Next, we see Ellie, and she is missing her arm. Naturally, we're going to need a catch-a-ride, so Ellie has to be around, and this concludes with Lilith, who's going to be a major character in this game. She is probably my favorite character in the entire series because she was the first character I ever picked when I first played Borderlands, and I also think there might be some symbolism attached to that because she's completely separate from the original group that's remaining from Borderlands 1, which is Brick as well as Mordecai, and they seem to be teaming up with Tiny Tina. Meanwhile, it looks like Lilith is sort of a leader, which you can get a feel for with some of the cutscenes in the pre-sequel, how Lilith is usually leading the charge in the interrogation and she's pressing for answers, and she seems to be heading things up over at Sanctuary. Nearing the grand finale here, we've got another slew of characters. The one on the left is easiest to identify as we see Moxie's Bard, which means Moxie indeed will be back, which I think all of us expected. She is a staple in this series. On the top right, it's really hard to identify who this hooded figure could be, but if I were to wager a guess, I'd say it's Flack again, considering he did have a hood, and right beneath him is a skag. But this character in the middle is the most peculiar one of the trailer, I feel, because a lot of people have had a tough time identifying who this could be, and I've seen some people guess Janie Springs. I personally don't think so. I've saw a couple of people say Fiona maybe, and that could be possible. I'm not going to wager too big of a guess here, but what I think is most exciting about this is that vehicle, man. I mean, hello, General Grievous. I like this move a lot, Gearbox. Keep it up with these Star Wars looking vehicles, because as someone who loves Star Wars, yeah, I'm all over this, and I hope we get to ride this around in Borderlands 3. But anyway, there isn't much to go off of on this center character here. Haven't seen any leaks surrounding her. And it concludes with the Mask of Mayhem itself, which is honestly one of the most stylish, mind-bending pieces of art I've seen in quite a long while. There's so much fan service and attention to detail packed into it, and to create a whole trailer around it must have taken a really long time. Now, you can scan this for some new characters, but we don't have names or information attached to them, such as a helmeted girl and a female robot here front and center right above the character we were struggling to identify earlier. And that pretty much will conclude what you can dig up from this trailer. There was also some Braille code on the bottom right corner throughout it that I want to mention that would suggest some pretty creepy stuff like you should follow, obey, like, etc. And I thought that was pretty interesting because there's so much cryptic stuff attached to this, and I imagine it won't stop once we get Borderlands 3 confirmed. I'd be shocked if Gearbox didn't drop another trailer tomorrow during the panel that wasn't packed with more hidden messages like this about the game itself. And then the trailer hits us with Mayhem is coming, and while usually Borderlands is known for its comedy, this seems to be a more dark approach, a little creepy approach when you look at some of the messages that were tied into this trailer, like count the sirens, like, follow, obey, all that kind of stuff. Maybe I'm thinking too deep into it, but anyway, that will conclude my in-depth analysis for the Borderlands 3 teaser trailer. I personally, as you all know based off the upload today, did not expect to be sitting down to do this. I was having so many errands to run. I set aside everything today so I can make sure I got it done before the panel tomorrow from Gearbox, but Gearbox did what they do best and they surprised the hell out of us. So let's go. Tomorrow is the big day. I cannot wait, and I will catch you guys tomorrow. Be sure to leave your thoughts on this in-depth analysis, share it around with the rest of the web. I can't wait to see your thoughts, and I'll catch you guys soon. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook. Those links are in the description down below, along with my Patreon. Do consider supporting that, as it fuels all the content I create here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.